Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wight Noise podcast. I'm your host, AJ. With me is my co-host, Ethan,
Greetings, fellow Americans.
and our social media manager, Aaron.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Both
Miss
of you,
Lewinsky.
please. Both of you, please.
At least I tried to do an impression.
yeah, yeah,
You just sound fucking bored.
like himself. Like,
That was him, right? Like
No,
no.
I don't
He's
know
got
how
like
to
a
do
southern
Clinton
accent.
voice. I don't know how to do a Clinton
I
voice.
did not have sexual relations with that woman,
Yeah,
Miss Lewinsky. I mean, that
Yeah,
wasn't
what-
good, but, that's at least the accent that he has.
that's
Yeah.
what it. Yeah. It's in
What if
that
Noah
area.
hopped in this on his phone?
God, fuck. That'd be awful.
No, please no.
Should I message him?
He wouldn't have Audacity on his phone, so he'd be like
I know.
talking to nobody. We just
He
have
would
to
just be-
ignore him.
That's
We
why
would
it'd be
just-
funny.
No, we
No.
just ignore him.
Shut up,
I know
Tavish.
Ethan and I. Yeah, I know Ethan and I would just ignore him.
It'd be
We
the
just wouldn't
same
say
way
anything.
as if Tavish was in the podcast.
That's
Yeah,
the-
that's what we're saying.
yeah,
That's why we don't invite him anymore.
yeah. So, anybody playing? Well, I know that Aaron hasn't been playing Destiny 2 recently, but I'm
No.
gonna
I
talk
have.
about it. Yes, you have. But I'm
I've been
gonna talk
playing Iron
about it.
Banner, actually. I actually finally got my Revoker, the sniper rifle.
Yeah.
The Pinnacle Sniper.
Yeah,
Ooh.
dude. Okay, so yeah, people snipe on there like crazy. Like that's all people do on there right now is just snipe. But then it's weird because you'll be sniping and then you just go to that gosh, I don't remember the name of maps on Destiny 2. The snow one to where it's like the Mars location to where it's
On
like,
Mars?
Yeah. Yeah, people just immediately go, I'm doing shotgun this game. Forget just going sniper. I'm gonna use the shotgun, and then you just
Yeah.
It's
Which I kind of like. I like maps that make you change your loadout. Like, if you're going, like, into a match, like a game. I see it with Iron Banner more because people are trying to win more in Iron Banner than they are in Quick Play.
yeah.
But, like, them going, all right, we're playing on this map. I'm going to change my loadout up to do better for this map. When you're actually trying to win, that's kind of fun. It's annoying if you're trying to get, like, grind something out. Like, oh, I want to get kills with this weapon. And then you go to try and get kills with that weapon on a certain map. Like, say you're trying to snipe or you're trying to get, like, pulse rifle kills or something like that. And then literally everyone has an SMG and a shotgun. And you're like, fucking, oh. So
Yeah.
then it's kind of infuriating.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know.
It was bad. Also, I got really excited because I played back to back the one with the buildings, like it's like the little town area.
Yeah, I know.
on the last city.
Has the
Yeah.
has like the cool long pathway on the right.
Yeah, on the right. Yeah, there's
It's got
that,
markets
yeah.
on the left.
Yes, I was super excited to play on that map, and then the next map right after that was the Nessus one. To where like on the left or right side or whatever, there's also just that huge straight line across of sniping. I got really excited to play both of those. Yeah, there were people that were like doing the exact same thing I was doing that were sniping, and it was like 3 of them were sniping, and then it was just 1 of me. I was like, well.
It's like the Call of Duty Hive, whatever it was. What was the name of that map?
High rise.
High Rise, yeah. The high
Yeah.
rise little peak on spawn. Search
Yeah.
and destroy peak. That thing was crazy.
Yep.
I miss those days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's my issue with Iron Banner is that people just will swap weapons for whatever just to get their bounties out of the way. But I can't really say anything since I was using Last Word and a sniper rifle.
Yeah, you were using the tryhard set.
Kinda, but at the same time, I wasn't like my heavy wasn't try hard. My super wasn't that try hardy. Like I wasn't like, and I didn't
I don't
have.
think of Last
Do you
Word
have
Snipe
one-eyed
as
mask on?
a super
No, I
tryhard.
didn't have one-eye mask on.
Oh,
no.
you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, see,
You're not
that's what I'm
toxic.
saying. Like I wasn't like going insane, and it wouldn't matter anyway since most people use snipers. There's no point in using one-eyed mask now.
For last word, it'd be crazy.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, if
And-
you're sniping, one-eyed mask really doesn't do a lot for you. Because if you're trading shots back and forth with a sniper, they're most likely gonna flinch you off your headshot, so you're not gonna get the kill.
Correct. So what else have you been doing on Destiny? Moment, Ethan.
Oh, I did some raids. I overcame my fear of LFG
Okay.
and meeting
Look
random
at you.
people.
Yeah, nice dude.
Yeah, no, I did Crown of Sorrow. I think I only did Crown of Sorrow. But what happened is I looked for like 2 hours. The hardest part of finding an LFG, especially, is if you have never done that raid before, because finding people to, and if it's like, you know, now that the raid didn't just come out, it's like, all right, the 2 raids that I haven't done are, you know, or the 2 big raids that I haven't done, the, you know, Scourge of the Past and Crown of Sorrow. They're the 2 most recent ones, but still a lot of people know how to do them. And even for Crown, people are like, have 2+ completions, and I'm like, ah. And I was just trying to find some people that were willing to teach me how to do it, and I found one. I found one LFG post that said learning experience, and I messaged the guy who made it, and I was like, "What do you mean learning experience? Are you like Sherpaing? Are you teaching people, or do you know how to do it?" He was like, or I messaged him and I said, "I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do the raid. Can I join? Is that what you mean by learning experience?" And he said, "We don't know how to do it either. We're just doing a blind run. So if you don't know how to do it, then that's fine as well." And I was like, that sounds like a ton of fun. And so I joined, and me and 5 other people, I think most of them knew each other. I think 4 of them knew each other, and then me and one other guy they found off of LFG.
Okay.
And
it's like if we did a raid.
Yeah. And they were all super chill, and they were really funny. One guy, because my gamer tag is Crynot on everything, and he called me Scribblenot. He called me Cosmonaut. I think he called me Taikonaut one time. Like,
Wow.
he refused to say my name right.
He was not going to call you by your name.
I want to go commit die. But
there you go. Yeah.
so like, you know, they were pretty funny, and we were like looking up, you know, guides of how to do each thing, and we spent probably like 4 hours on it, and we got to the very last encounter, and we kept on dying over and over, and then it got to be like midnight, and we're like, well, we got to go to bed. Let's come back and do it some other time. But that was actually a ton of fun. So that got me all the way to the very final, like the last room. And then I joined on another LFG. They were like, hey, we're teaching one other person the raid who's never done it before. This was the following day. They were like, we're teaching one person. We need some other people. And I joined, and it was like 2 14-year-olds that were teaching a 12-year-old. And then there was one, and then
they were
going
to carry you. Was there an Irish guy or a British guy?
No.
Because that's LFG in a nutshell.
They were annoying American teens, and they were awful. I didn't use I muted my mic for pretty much the entire raid until they actually like needed my call-outs. Surprisingly enough, Crown of Sorrow, you don't have to, if you don't want to call stuff out, you don't have to a whole lot until you get to the very last room. The last encounter is unique because the way that Crown of Sorrow kind of works is that the first encounter like introduces a mechanic, and then the second encounter like expands on that mechanic, and then the third encounter sort of gets you used to how the boss fight is going to be as far as the space and how the mechanics are going to work a little bit, and then the final encounter like combines all of the different things that you've learned throughout the raid into one thing. So it's not too difficult as far as like if they introduced a new thing every single encounter, because kind of like, you know, Leviathan, each encounter has its own different mechanics. But I feel like with Last Wish and with Crown, and I don't know if the same holds true for Scourge since I haven't played it, but I feel like they're doing more of a let's keep something a little bit uniform in this. Like, let's introduce some of these mechanics. Like, every encounter is sort of unique, but they all have some similarities. Crown of Sorrows is more so of that, where the last encounter is fucking hectic, man. Like, the final encounter boss fight for Crown of Sorrow is like a lot of communication going on, a lot of different people having to do different things. You're having to keep track of different timers and buffs. You're having to keep track of different wipe mechanics that can take you down. You're having to clear ads the entire time. It's crazy and it's hectic, but, you know, if you get it down, you get it down. But it was a ton of fun. But I fucking went in with this LFG of like 2 14-year-olds, a 12-year-old, and then there was this older guy who seemed like he was probably like his late 20s, judging by his voice, and he was actually really chill, and he was the one who did most of the teaching because he explained things better than the 14-year-olds, obviously, because he just had better communication skills because he was older and more mature.
Yeah.
He was the one that did more of the teaching. He was very patient. And then there's another guy that was like me. He was mostly silent until he just got pissed, and he was like, bro, what the fuck? And, he got pissed at me a couple times because I fucked some stuff up. But then we failed the last encounter.
Hang on.
Like,
I'm listening. Go ahead. I was about to say, we're not waiting for Derp for this. I'm not sitting here for silence. Go ahead.
I know. I'm just sighing. Exasperated sigh.
Beautiful.
But then we failed the last encounter like over and over and over again, and some of it was just the guy who had never done it before, like the kid who it was his first time. He fucked up some stuff. One time I died in a stupid way, just because I was like, okay, yeah, that was just me. I just fucked it up a little bit. But then we got to the point where the guys we failed and it wasn't even a lot, because the previous night we probably were on the same encounter for probably an hour. So we probably ran this one encounter trying to get it right. Never even got to the boss, like the damage phase for the boss. We probably ran it like 20-something times. And we only stopped because people had to go to bed.
Yeah.
Because people had work the following morning. But this one, we probably ran it like 6 or 7 times. And after the 6th or 7th time, the 2 guys that started the LFG who said they were going to teach this kid quit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's normal.
That's so cancerous. Why?
That's super normal. I used to have people with LFGs all the time. Like, they would start in Gauntlet when Leviathan Raid, like the first one, came out.
Yeah.
We would do Gauntlet, and one guy would join and be like, I don't know how to do it. Can you show me? And we would show him. He would do it one time and mess up, and like 3 people would leave. It was very normal.
Why?
It's just they just weren't having it. They just wanted to run it and get it done with.
Yeah, see,
people
and I
like to run
understand.
it like a strike. When they know it like the back of their hand, they expect you to know it like the back of your hand. So they expect it to be like a strike for them.
No, and I see that on LFG posts, and that's why I don't join LFG posts that are like, hey, know what you're doing, we want to get it done quick. I see those, and I understand that. You want enough people that you can just bang it out really quickly. Their post said, we're teaching this person.
Well, that guy...
We're teaching them what to do.
That guy wasn't good enough to be in the other people's post, but he wasn't bad enough to be in like the new players one, so he got irritated. He was at a weird middle ground. He should have just made his own post.
It was the people that made the post that quit.
I misunderstood.
No, the 2 people that made the post that were teaching this other person, they were like, it was one guy, it was the 14-year-old and his 14-year-old buddy. I don't actually know what their ages were. I was just judging off of their maturity level and the way their voices sound. But the 2 14-year-olds had told the 12-year-old, hey, we're going to teach you. We need 3 more people. And then they made an LFG post. Me and 2 other people joined. And then the 2 14-year-olds that said they would teach the 12-year-old, the ones that made the LFG post, they're the ones that got pissed and quit.
Weird.
The ones that said, hey, we're going to teach you how to do this raid. We need other people to do it.
Yeah.
The ones that agreed to teach him got impatient and left, which is I think is bullshit. Yeah, you're a shitty teacher. Don't offer to teach someone.
And you'd think when you go into that having to make a post for something that you go into it going, I have this amount of time to do this. Like, I have like a bunch of time, like several hours to work on this. I'm not gonna like just leave and dip unless that time that I have is over. Don't make a post and go, I only have like 3 hours to teach this guy a whole raid. No.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, when I started making posts and looking for it, it was probably like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I was like, I don't have anything tomorrow morning. I can stay up late.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna eat dinner if I find a post in time. I didn't. I ended up like searching for 2 hours, then eating, and then getting back on and finding one. But at like 4:30, 5 o'clock, I was like, all right, I've got like 6 hours that I can spend doing a raid.
I don't know. LFG's always been I have a mixed feeling towards LFG posts and looking for that sort of thing. I will say, though, I am glad that I had MW2 and COD going through and it being like the peak time for Call of Duty and Halo to be a thing, rather than Destiny being around. And I'm like 14. I'm glad that that's what happened, because, gosh, I'd absolutely hate myself. Like,
I'm nice to kids for that reason.
Right, exactly, because
because we can help it.
That's good. Like having stuff like COD that fit us. Destiny stuff I don't feel like would fit that age group. Like I just don't see that.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
One of the guys that I found for that LFG, the one that the blind run, he actually just messaged me on Xbox Live and was like, "Hey, did you ever finish that other raid?"
Oh, that's sad. He's probably looking for people.
Now, it's because he got to like the very end of he got to the last stage of Crown of Sorrows this week, and he also got to the last stage of Scourge of the Past this week. And he's like, "I just want to finish a raid this week."
Yeah, I don't blame him. You've been in that position before, Ethan, with doing stuff like that.
I was kind of a rude raid leader sometimes. I don't know if you were ever there.
Yeah, no, I was with the one guy who was brand new and he was trying to learn and he stayed really quiet and then he opened his mouth.
Him.
Yeah, you did, because he opened his mouth.
You did that my very first raid experience.
Mm-hmm.
Did I?
Yeah, because you came to college to visit me, Wyatt and I.
Oh, you're right. And I was like, kick him. Like, get him out
and you were like,
here.
let's do it. You've never done a raid? Let's do a raid. Let's do the Leviathan. And I was like, right now? This is so fast.
Yeah, you and Tay were blown away. They were like, we needed weeks for preparation. I'm like, what? Excuse me?
Yeah,
it takes like 4 hours.
Yeah. No, see, that's how we see when we think raid, we think like Ocean's 11 style. Like,
you don't need
plan it out, assemble a team.
I feel like that's how every person before they do their very first raid always thinks a raid to be like. It's like this immense thing.
So,
but it's really not.
Well, no, what we got that from is because that's how we used to play Call of Duty Zombies. And when we were playing Call of Duty Zombies, our raid was the Easter eggs. And what we would do is we would literally plan a day where, like, Wyatt, and Mark... Yeah, where me, Wyatt, and Mark would, like, stay the night at one of our houses. We would have a LAN party, and we would, like, try to prepare for doing this Zombies Easter egg. And so, like, I would do research. I would run, like, day and night. I would run, like, because preparing for the Origins Easter egg, I used to run Origin Zombies constantly, back and forth. Just every single day. That's what I would run, like, over and over and over, just memorizing it, getting in my head. If you said, Ethan, draw a map, I suck at drawing, but if you said, Ethan, draw a map of Origins with every single possible part location of every single buildable in that map and, like, each Easter egg step, I could probably get pretty damn close. Like, even today. But I think that's why we had that mentality, because that's what we used to do, is, like, we used to, like, text back and forth, plan it out, and then we would finally get together, and then that day we would try and do it.
Sounds like we need to go do the Origins Easter egg.
Yeah.
Dude, can we make a video of us doing the Origins Easter egg?
What a weird video.
Yeah, it would be.
It's so old.
Back to 2014 or whatever, 2015.
Yeah. Well, they released it. They released for Xbox One on Black Ops 3, because they did the remastered Zombies maps. So for that,
Black Ops 2 is also backwards compatible. You can just stick it in.
That brings up a good point. So is either of you two getting the Master Chief Collection for PC?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm glad that Ethan's on board with that, because, gosh, I needed somebody else that was on board with that. I know that 2 or 3 of my other friends are as well, but
I'm buying a gaming PC, and I would have sex with Master Chief.
I don't have it
or Cortana at the same time.
I don't have it on Xbox, so should I just wait and buy it on PC?
Yes, it doesn't. Yeah, it's not like buying it on Xbox gives you a discount on PC. There's nothing like that.
Okay,
for it.
Then I'll just buy it on PC. That way I don't have to spend extra money.
Here's the thing.
Dude, I'm gonna get to play Combat Evolved on original graphics with mouse and keyboard again.
Yes.
I'm gonna feel like I'm 8 years old. It's gonna be fucking amazing.
Dude, I started doing that back at high school because we didn't have anything to do, and our school systems, like, turned all the games off or whatever. So a guy brought in, like, a USB stick, and he was like, Halo Combat Evolves on this, and so he just started sending it to everybody, and everybody downloaded Halo Combat Evolved. We just did like LAN parties with like 16 people on it, and we just play
That's
Halo
awesome.
Evolved. Yeah, yeah.
I used to
That's
just I didn't have friends and also didn't have internet, so I would just play the campaign on legendary difficulty over and over and over again.
Yeah, dude. I'm pumped about it because Halo Reach is in that collection.
Halo Reach
That's why I'm excited.
is my, as far as campaign is concerned, it is my second favorite Halo game.
Okay. Okay.
I like the campaign of Halo 3 better.
Really?
Yes.
Whoa. Gonna go with Halo 3
And-
on that. Interesting. Okay.
Is that controversial?
Most people
Sounded
go Halo 2.
controversial.
Most people
And
go
see,
Halo 2.
And
Yeah.
see, Halo Reach is my second favorite Halo game for multiplayer, because my first favorite game for multiplayer is Halo 2.
Yeah. Yeah. People consider Halo 2 to be like the king of Halo. Like that's like the Halo game.
Never played it.
And then Halo 3 is like the better runner-up for it, basically. It's like, it was like the Halo 2 for its time, is what Halo 3 is. Is it's like a modern, updated version of Halo 2. But it still
Yeah.
was like, not as good, because it's not the original. That's how Halo 3 was.
See, I like Halo 2. It's got a brilliant game, just all around.
Yep.
Great game.
Yep.
I just, for some reason, I think it's because the first time I played Halo 2's story, I didn't fully grasp it. You know what I think it is? I think it's because I don't like, and this is no fault of Halo 2 on its own, but as far as story content goes, the middle of a trilogy is always the hardest to get right. And it's why, because like all of the fun stuff in a story happens at the beginning and the end. The middle is hard to do. That's why Two Towers is my least favorite Lord of the Rings.
Okay. I could.
Still an amazing movie.
Yeah.
Still one of my favorite movies ever. But I like Fellowship and Return of the King better than Two Towers. And I think that's the reason, as far as like story is concerned, I like Halo 3 better than Halo 2 because it has the climax and the resolution in it.
Yeah, but Halo 2 also has the betrayal in it, and that's why I like it a lot. It's because
It does have the betrayal.
it shows you like the slow change, and that's what makes Halo 2 really cool to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's our Halo and Bungie in general
Although
conversation.
Halo 3 has
But
the betrayal that you saw coming at the end of it.
yeah, but you expect that though. You didn't quite expect the Halo 2 one.
I also like the not having the journey to reclaim Cortana in Halo 3. Like
what do you mean?
trying to in Halo 3 you start out and Cortana is still on High Charity,
Right.
where you left her at the end of Halo 2.
Correct.
And you're getting flashbacks and stuff of her and the Gravemind? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yeah, I almost said Warmind. Her and the Gravemind becoming more and more like her getting enveloped by the Gravemind. And you're getting these flashes, and she's talking to you, and you're having that race. Like I need to find like the desperation of Chief to like find Cortana before she gets fully taken over by the Gravemind, and then his final push on High Charity. Also seeing High Charity again, having been on High Charity at the end of Halo 2, then going back in the Cortana mission to High Charity when it's been all,
Floody.
hivified
Yeah.
or floodified.
Yeah. See.
I'm-
Look at you.
I'm on Destiny brain. But when it's been all like taken over by the flood, I really like that, showing that contrast, and also finally like getting to Cortana and like being like, holy shit, I finally found her. And then her, that reunion. I love that.
But
I love that moment.
That's what Halo 4 was as well, though.
Shut up.
There's
Halo
no
4 and Halo 4 and Halo 5 were just dog.
There's
They're
no.
fucking-
Did you see the news post about how people who were making Halo 5 didn't even know they were making Halo?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. There were
That's
creators. There were creators 4343 that they were given like a curved just like the slightest bit of truth sort of plot. Like, they didn't get a whole lot of like the plot points as to what they were making, and 343's just like, make that. Like, that was it. Like, they were just like, here's this idea. It's kind of like Halo. It sounds kind of like Halo, but you don't know for certain that it's Halo. Here's the idea. Create that. And so they had to work on that, like, the entire time, having no idea it was actually Halo 5.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
No wonder that game was a piece of shit. See, my reason for hating Halo 4 is because I feel like they could have done so much more with the Forerunners,
Correct.
but they didn't.
Correct. And they also did this weird thing, because if you go back in Halo 3 and Halo 2, you'll see the Forerunners being like this, like, super huge alienized species that nobody actually understands, and
Yeah.
like their
See-
language is completely foreign to everybody. They're just completely out there. And then you go into Halo 4 and it's like nice chrome, sleek, just smooth, like straight surfaces. It's like, no.
Like, they did what to the Didact in Halo 4 what Bungie did to Zol in the Warmind DLC.
Correct.
Because in Halo lore, the Didact is a fucking genius.
Oh, yeah.
And a badass and ruthless.
Yeah. And
When you actually go into the backstory of Halo and like find out what happened like in the first war against the Flood with
Yeah.
the Forerunners, the Didact is freaking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He's a badass. And then you go to fight him in Halo 4, he's such a pussy.
and you kill him in a cutscene like thing. That's what I hated.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
what?
And sure, like, there was a cost to defeating him, the cost being Cortana,
Mhm.
but that was one. Let's talk about that ex machina moment that was Cortana beating the Didact.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was. So yeah.
And then there's the whole man and machine discussion that's like briefly talked about, to where it's like, what's the point? Like, you could have just left that out. I like it. I like that it was there, but if they're gonna put it there, they should have just added a lot more to it. Like, man.
Yeah. And I don't like they changed Cortana's tone, which I am okay with. I'm okay with her changing like her behavior
Mhm.
and her tone, because there is that theme of like she's not the same after
They had
the Great Mind.
They had a reason for
And
that, though.
she's going rampant. I don't like the change of design.
Okay. Yeah.
So the way
understand
that they made, like, the way that they changed, like, I get like making her like design more like high fidelity,
Right.
and like updating her character model to look better, because it's
Mhm.
a new game with new technology. You make everything look better. But they changed like her face, and because like in the other Halo games, Cortana looks and acts like a boss ass bitch,
Well,
which she is.
she's Halsey. That's the whole point.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And so when you change the face of that person, that completely removes that fact that she is like supposed to be like Dr. Halsey. Like, that's no longer a
Yeah.
thing.
And that was the thing, and that was one of the cool things about playing Halo Reach, is like being able to interact with Halsey.
Right.
And if you know like that Cortana was an AI based off of Halsey, then you can see the similarities
Mhm.
between the way Halsey acts and the way that Cortana acts, and you're like, oh, I can see that Halsey was the personality that this AI was based off of. But then she's so much more like timid, and she's honestly too cute. She's too kawaii in Halo 4.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she just gets really angry in Halo 5.
Yeah. In Halo 5, she doesn't seem like in her moments of like rampancy,
Mhm.
like when she's like getting real like super pissed and like just raging, it doesn't seem like Cortana getting angry. Because like if Halo 2 Cortana got pissed, I would be scared.
Right. Yeah, no. Yeah.
But Halo 4 and Halo 5 Cortana getting pissed just seems like a toddler having a tantrum.
I feel I don't know what the issue is, because I want to say it's the size, but that's not the thing either. Like, because
Size
she's
isn't
still
what matters.
It's the face of her shape. It's the face of her shape. It's
the face
it's-
and
it's-
shape.
Yeah, it's. I feel like they made her face too soft and too round.
Yeah. And not.
And
like
also,
Dr.
she's got this
Halsey.
weird. She's got like this weird like tooth gap. Do you know?
I
In Halo 4 and Halo 5 for design.
I know of what you're talking about.
Hold on. I'm
I
gonna look up a picture.
I'm looking right now.
Oh boy, here we go. The one thing that we're gonna use Google for during this podcast is to find a tooth gap. This is great.
She looks more Asian
Yes,
in Halo 4.
correct.
Yes, she's got like this gap
she
between her
does.
two front teeth,
Yeah.
which I'm okay with. I don't care, but it adds like a sort of like, it gives her a sort of a sense of adolescence.
Yeah. Yeah, like she's like not that mature. Like she's not like an insane boss or something, you know? Like how cool she was before.
Yeah, and maybe the they never said any of this, but maybe the effects of rampancy are that she, you know, I don't know, regresses as far as maturity goes, and maybe they designed her to reflect that.
I'm glad you're trying to find a positive
I was about to
to
say,
343's
so.
ideas. Yeah. Yeah.
See, and maybe that's well. I'm not trying to find a positive. I'm trying to find the inspiration.
The same
I'm trying to find,
company
like,
that didn't know they were making Halo.
Yeah. Yeah.
like, hold on, look up a picture of Cortana Halo 2 remastered.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, the remastered cutscenes
Alright.
are good. Oh, they're so good. But
Halo 2 Anniversary Cortana. Look at her face. She looks like a stone cold bitch.
Yeah.
That would stab you without a second thought.
yeah. And then you go through like 5 and 4, and it's weird. Even like when she's in 5 to when she has like that weird suit looking thing on her, it's still not the same.
See, if you look at like her in Halo 1 and then her in Halo 2 Anniversary, which is I think the farthest gap that you can get in like fidelity, like how good she looks.
Right.
She still looks like the same Cortana. It's the same exact, like the same face, just more, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But in Halo 5 and Halo 4, it's just a different face altogether.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's a completely different idea.
It's a completely different actress, because I know they did performance capture
Yes, they
to
did.
capture the actresses.
She looks really Asian. Looking at these pictures, like,
Yeah, no, like, and there's, you know, she just looks like a completely different person.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
she is
I did-
white right here in this one. As you can see that I'm pointing on a screen that y'all can't see, and an audio podcast
And
that they
audio.
can't see.
I'll upload the
Good
images. I'll upload a side by side of
But
Okay,
the
that'd be
bottom one,
Halo 4 Cortana and Halo 2 Anniversary Cortana.
the bottom one looks like just a basic white girl. Also, like not a basic white girl, but she just looks like a normal like white chick. Top
Yeah.
one is ethnic,
She also looks older.
and the bottom one,
Yes,
I don't know, man.
No, she does. I get.
She definitely
I get
does.
what Ethan's saying.
the Halo 4/5 Cortana looks like she's maybe 21, 22, maybe younger.
Mm-hmm.
Halo 2 Anniversary Cortana and original Cortana, she looks like she's probably 28 to like 33.
Y'all both know, but just so the audience knows, I don't play Halo. Like, I played like 1 or 2. Like, I played
Yeah.
Reach. I'm not
Yeah.
a Halo person. So, I don't know enough, I guess, about this to like weigh in on anything. Part of the reason I was silent. But so, not seeing her in the dialogue and not seeing her actions also makes me like not understand the age the same. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
I don't know how
no,
she
yeah.
acted. And I
Right.
didn't see her like movements. I'm just looking at a picture. That's literally it.
Yeah.
No, like her in Halo 1 through 3, she's like calling out hits like, you gotta kill this dude. You gotta kill this dude fast. And she's like, what was the scene in Halo 2 where Johnson brings the tanks and what was it? Cortana says like, Johnson says, "Oh, I know what the ladies like."
Oh, yeah.
And then Cortana's like, he never brings me anything. Talking about Chief,
Yeah.
you know? And so there's like that like battlefield humor that you see in like those kind of games and films. But her in Halo 4 and Halo 5 is she's like calling out stuff, but she's, you know, calling out what you need to, but like in the cutscenes and stuff, she's way more timid. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, no.
She's definitely more like soft-natured. She doesn't seem like a badass AI.
I feel like
It's going to be calling in airstrikes on bitches.
I feel like they focused way too hard on making Master Chief that they didn't like keep working on Cortana still being Cortana. Like there's because he's still like super stone cold and only saying like a few words sort of person, but then she's changed. Like I don't know. It's weird.
And just the change in temperament made the dynamic change, because in the earlier Halo games, I felt like the dynamic between Master Chief and Cortana was very partner-like. Like they watch each other's back, they take care of each other, but they're definitely like on the same tier. They're partners,
right?
You know, and especially because when you think about Chief was assigned to protect Cortana. That's his job.
Mm-hmm.
And they picked him because he is a badass.
Right.
And then they do badass things together because she's like the best AI that humanity has, and he's the best fighter that humanity has.
Mm-hmm.
So together they are the wombo combo to defeat the Covenant and the Hive. Flood.
Good job. You did so good there for a second.
It's doing so well for so long. But then in Halo 4 and Halo 5, the dynamic changes to, instead of like a partnership, it's more of a like in Logan, when like he's taking care of the little girl. Sort of like, yeah, you're a badass, but also I'm the adult and I'm taking care of you.
Right. And that's what
like
that's what it felt like in Halo 5 to when he sends her out in space. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
It's like I just sent the kid to timeout. That's what it felt like. It's like
yeah. It felt like maybe not like a single parent and child relationship,
right?
But maybe like a much older sibling, and taking care of the little sibling, like the much younger sibling.
That's exactly
like a 20-something taking care of a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Instead of like two badass war partners, battle buddies.
Yeah, battle buddies. So okay, we talked a good amount of Halo. So I want to bring up our Minecraft stuff, and I want to have this discussion with you guys just to give you guys an idea.
What about Yorncraft?
Okay, so that's kind of, I don't know exactly what that is, but that's kind of why I brought this up.
It's a joke.
It's a joke. Okay, good. Oh yeah. Okay, I see. Ha ha. Very funny. So there's this thing now on the so there's a Twitch launcher which you guys can download, and there's a section specifically for Minecraft, and it lets you browse through and install just whatever mods you want to and create your own mod pack.
That's cool.
So I was wondering, if you guys wanted to like go through that and then just sort of pick whatever mod packs we wanted to get, just for like a category, since we're more than likely doing it on PC for certain.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and then we can just go through, select some mods.
What about? I was wondering if y'all wanted Sky Factory. If y'all were a Sky Factory.
See, that's exactly why I brought this up, because you could go, I want to do Sky Factory, and then it's like, but I also want to add this into Sky Factory and this, and so you could add like a bunch of other stuff into Sky Factory and do Sky Factory and have these other things in it as well.
I love Sky Factory.
Right.
I don't really want to play it.
Really?
Okay, I'm curious. Why?
It's especially because I haven't played Minecraft in so long.
I get what you're saying.
But I feel like, especially like having something to do that is at least like learning new things, but also having something that's grounded in familiarity. I kind of want to do.
Right.
Like, it's like, we're doing all this new stuff and there's new things we can learn about, but there's still like, all right, we still need to mine for coal and diamond.
There's no mod pack that we're going to ever do that we're going to be mining for coal and diamond.
Well, there are, just not
like
to the
really
point where
basic.
it's that original. Yeah. Because, okay, so I have a mod pack here, and my friends know about it since I've been playing in a server with them already with this mod pack, that one of my friends ended up making that has stuff like torches burn out over time. There's a bunch of different ores that you can get. Diamonds harder to find. A lot of other ores are harder to find. You have to use a mod pack called Tinker's Construct.
I love Tinkers.
Yeah.
Tinkers is so cool, dude.
Tinkers is good because it makes you proud of whatever tool you make, and not just I made a stone pick, oh it broke, let me get another one. No, when you make a tool, it's like I have this tool. This is my tool. Like I'll name it, I'll like start doing upgrades with it. No matter what level of mining that tool is, you can do that with it.
It's really cool.
And that's yeah. So and it's like Tinker Construct only several other mobs to bring in. There's Milner mod, which I really want to do Milner mod with you guys, so I can show you guys what Milner is. It's the I don't know if you guys would remember it. It's a bit of an old school mod. I knew about it as a kid, where you get set up, you can find villages, but they're not like normal Minecraft vanilla villages. They're like different cultures and ethnicities that have these villages, and so you can build them, and they have like their own houses, and they'll construct their own houses, and you can trade with them, and you have like a reputation that you can either bring up higher or just completely just end up killing them and then ruin your reputation yourself. And
so it's like there's a karma system.
Yeah, basically, and there's like a brand new like type of currency for it. You can buy land from them, you can buy a house from them, things like that. It's yeah.
Can I trade them an island for, say, some AIDS blankets?
No, but I get where you're coming from. Yeah, here's some smallpox blankets. Yeah.
I mean, we could do a vanilla.
We can
first if you want, Ethan. Yeah. I go super hard in vanilla though.
Yeah. See, I'm fine with doing like crazy mod packs.
You want to be on the ground.
I kind of want to be on the ground.
Yeah.
When you said you wanted to be grounded, you literally wanted to be on the ground.
It was a literalization.
I mean, that's what this one is. There's like other dimensions to where you can go past bedrock and you'll hit like stuff like nether and like other dimensions the further down you go.
Oh, the nether? Like the normal thing?
Like the normal.
I understand.
Like the normal thing.
Yeah. One other thing I used to do in Minecraft, like I used to farm villagers like all the time, like before the new one came out, before like the new set of villagers came out, and I would have like little sections in my house where I had them like trapped, and they would be like sellers. Like I would have like farmers and like librarians, and I would just sell them paper and farm wheat and just give them that for emeralds, and then I would go to the blacksmith and buy all my weapons and all my diamond armor and stuff from him, and I never used diamonds. I had like stacks on stacks of diamonds, and I just never used them. And then I feel like they've like
made that a standpoint as like an option that you can do. Like even now, like that's like an even higher thing that you can do.
Yeah,
because
it's cool
now that's like
it's really cool. I kind of want to play with it a little bit.
It's crazy how much you can do with like shopping and things like that.
Villagers are so cool, and I think a currency system in the game is such a good thing to add, and they need to keep updating it. Currency makes the game cooler, and it's just ironic that I work at a bank, and I used to play with currency like that when I was a kid. Like I used to like build a free market in Minecraft for fun. But yeah.
I don't know. I never had fun playing Minecraft by myself.
I didn't have internet at the time, and I didn't like story games.
I get where you're coming from, though, Ethan.
Did you just like play solitaire and jerk off?
I grinded on Minecraft. I just told you. Just told you what I did.
Yeah, you
played with
like
redstone.
A bunch of Minecraft on single player. Yeah.
Made like redstone auto farms and stuff for fun.
Dude, when I didn't have internet, Call of Duty Zombies and Skyrim were my best friends.
Yeah, Skyrim is my best friend. Whenever internet goes out or something like that for a long period of time.
Skyrim's cool. I used to play it with Derp and Tavish. Burp 1. Used to play it with like Derp and Tavish.
That's not number 1.
Oh, was it?
No.
No.
Noah will give you the right number later. It's fine.
Yeah, sorry, Noah. Text me and yell at me. I'm sorry.
We'll get an accurate count.
I would use me and Derp and Tavish would all join a party on Xbox 360 and play Skyrim all in the same party together.
Yep, it would be
we just play Skyrim and talk about what we were doing.
So let's see. So I ended up meeting you guys the summer of 2011. I think it was the summer of 2012 and the summer of 2013 that we did that.
It sounds like 13 better. But yeah.
Yeah, it was both. I remember it was both because then in 2012 we played like nothing but COD and a bit of Skyrim, but then in 2013 is when we were like, okay, Skyrim's like really fun to play. All three of us had it, and we'd wake up super early in the morning. It was like, I say super early in the morning. I mean, this is kind of early to some people. It was like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and we'd all get on. I would always end up at like 6 o'clock, just because as a kid, I don't know why I was able to wake up super early. During the summer, and we'd all play Skyrim, and it'd be like until 2, 3 in the afternoon, and then we'd go eat.
Ethan, you know what? This is what, when I went to Union, this is what sucked about Union. Okay, so my old school didn't have school on Fridays. We did like a little bit of extra work every day, Monday through Thursday, and just didn't go to school on Fridays.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
I
see,
had
the problem with that
Friday and
is kids at
Saturday
Union
off.
were retarded.
Huh? The problem is that is what?
The kids at Union were retarded,
Yeah.
and they couldn't get their work done on a regular day, much less extra, so they didn't have to work on Fridays.
No, like that's why I was blown away when we went to Union and they like had homework with like 3 pages a day in their stuff, because I was doing 5 pages a day and everything every day, and I was like,
Yeah.
what do you mean you're not getting your work done? I would get my work done every day with 5 pages a day. Like, you guys suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they did. I mean, I slowed down. I slowed down, like, it's hard to say, because my senior year, I was taking home a lot of work. For a little bit of backstory, Aaron and I went to a very, very small Christian private school, and basically how the scholastic program worked there is nothing was lecture based, so we didn't sit and listen to a lecturer and take notes and then have an exam or a quiz and get our grade based on that. What we had is we had booklets that had text and then answer sheets in them, and basically it was our entire school was based around reading comprehension. So you would read a section of text or a section of text. I loved it. You would read a section of text, and then the following section would be questions or activities that they would take their material from the section of text that you just learned. And then periodically you would have review sections that would be quizzes, and then at the end of a booklet you would have a test. And 12 booklets made up an entire course. So basically the concept was, if you took 12 of these booklets and you put them all together, you would have an entire test book and homework based on that. So the way that homework worked in this was you were assigned a certain number of pages per booklet per day. So you'd have like, all right, in English you need to do 4 to 5 pages a day. So then, Monday you would do 5 pages, and then Tuesday you would do 4 pages, and you would alternate. And this was all based on how long it would take you to get through that book, and then how long it would take you to get through the entire course. So the goal was to get through 12 books in 1 year. That was one course. So the way that homework was done is whatever work that you were assigned that day for your school that you didn't complete within the school hours, which was like 8:15 to 3:15, whatever schoolwork you didn't complete in those hours, you took home as homework. So basically how it worked is it was sort of, homework was based on how quickly you could get your shit done. So if you got everything done, then you didn't have to take any homework done. And when you got home, you were free to do whatever the fuck you wanted. Unless you had like a test or something, because then you obviously had to study for that the next day. But if you didn't get your work done, then you took whatever incomplete work you had, you took it home. So my senior year, I took home a lot of homework, failed at completing all of my homework most of the time, and then had to, I got work that backed up, so then my weekends were full of 5 to 6 hour study sessions, or homework sessions. But that's because I'm lazy, and my work ethic was shit in high school. It's improved a little bit, but still it's something that I struggle with, is finding the motivation to do shit that I need to do. Which I feel like is just a human thing, but I feel like it plagues our generation more, and me personally more than some people. Also, but I did get an award that year for completing more work than any other student that year. That was an award that they created specifically for me. Reason being is because everything was reading comprehension based. If you were a strong reader and you were good at reading and completing work, then you could get stuff done marginally quicker than your classmates. And I decided to skip a year because a lot of people start first grade when they're 6. I started first grade when I was 7 because I was homeschooled, and that's just when my mom decided to start me. And just because of where my birthday falls and stuff, me and Tiffany, she was only 2 months older than me, but she was a year ahead of me in school for most of our high school career. And so I was like, all of my friends are going to be gone by my senior year, so my senior year is going to be miserable because all my friends will have graduated. And if any new kids come to the school, I'm not going to want to make friends with them because I'm only going to be here for another year and then I'm going to be gone. So I took it upon myself to graduate a year early. And because of the way our school worked, is if you just got a shit ton of work done, then you just completed a grade that much faster. So that's kind of why I had so much homework my senior year, is because I basically crammed a year's and a half worth of work into 1 year and got it done miraculously. I don't know how, but I got it done. Pretty dope. I was happy that I graduated early.
Straight up hated it. Hated the curriculum. I was in it since like 5th grade.
Why?
I just don't do good with like reading comprehension. I did really good in Abeka, and then I moved from Abeka to ACE, which Abeka is a different curriculum, but it's just like what you call it, like lecture based. And so I moved to that. I finished high school with like a 2.2 GPA. I was like, dang, I'm real dumb, not smart boy. Went to college, finished my first like year and a half of college. Granted, it's community college. Let me throw that out there. It's not like a university. But I still finished it with like a 3.8, like 3.9. So I was in honors in that. But like I just did so much better in college. I didn't even have to study for most of my test.
Exact opposite for me.
Yeah, I know. But you also went to university. So I can't scale that because yours is a university and mine's a community college. But I still think I would do decently okay like at Cary, because Tiff struggles too. And Tiff did really good with ACE as well. And Tiff is really smart.
Yeah, no.
But she's good with like reading stuff. I'm really good at just sitting there and listening. 90% of my classes, I just sat there, played on my phone, and listened, and like would do fine. I didn't take notes. I didn't do crap. I would just do fine.
Yeah. See, I don't do as well with lectures because how well the information is communicated is very dependent on how well that teacher can lecture. Whereas reading, the information is there, and whether or not I absorb it or not is purely based on me. There's no other factor. There's the information, and then there's my brain, and there's no middleman. Whereas with lecture base, the middleman is the professor. There's the information, there's professors communicating the information to you, and then there's your brain. And for some reason, that disconnect, I have to work harder to bridge that gap.
I go back and forth with that sort of thing, because and it's not even like certain subjects. It's just certain people. Like sometimes there'll be somebody that's like amazing, and then I have people that just absolutely just flop for me. Like they do amazing for other people, and because of that, they don't ever change what they do, but they just flop for me. So
yeah, that's a big part of college.
Yeah,
because some professors are more suited to some people, and other professors are not.
Mm-hmm.
See, like I like professors that are more lighthearted and tell jokes and go on rants and take a concept and then, go on a rant about how it applies to modern day. That's especially what I like about like some of my history professors. I have one history professor that I get him on some modern geopolitical subject based on whatever the fuck we're talking about. This has to be as loosely connected as I can. He'll go on a 20-minute rant about it. It's really entertaining. And also I learn a lot.
You're that guy.
I know a lot of people hate that professor. And I ask him, I'm like, why? And he's like, because he doesn't stay on topic. He doesn't read the information. And I'm like, I don't want a human PowerPoint.
Yeah.
I want a person who understands the information enough to make jokes, go on rants, and get off topic about it. If somebody's just reading a PowerPoint that they made 3 years ago because they were assigned to this course, that's a shitty teacher for me.
Yes.
But a lot of people like that.
No.
I get both sides of that. I get both sides of that.
Dr. McLaughlin at my old at the school I went to, super great teacher. Oh my goodness, she's the best. But like, what I've noticed is teachers that people are usually like, oh, they're so hard. Most of the time are like teachers that actually care and want you to learn, and that's why they're hard. The three that I've met have. They actually like care. The other ones are the ones that are just reading PowerPoints, and they're easy because their tests are the same thing as they are every other year. So you just find their answers on Quizlet.
Yep.
So like teachers that actually care are usually the hard ones, but they're usually the best ones. Like my speech teacher got me really interested in philosophy. And that's not something I thought I would walk away from with speech class, was an interest in philosophy. But I love it. And she was such a cool teacher. She explained it so well. Like, it was just such a fun class. I would go to that class just for fun. Like, if she taught other subjects, I would go to that class, not for credit. I would just go there if it was free.
So one of my favorite teachers at Cary, he was an adjunct professor. He actually worked in the IT department, so I knew him as one of the full-time IT guys when I was a work study there, before I knew him as an adjunct professor. And basically, one day we were sitting in work, and he was like, hey, I know you're a history student. I'm an adjunct professor for the history department. I'm teaching an Eastern Civ class. You should take it. And I looked into it, and I asked my advisor, who was another history professor, who's a friend of this adjunct professor, and I said, hey, can I take this professor's, or this teacher's, he wasn't a professor, can I take this teacher's Eastern Civ class? Because he asked if I could be in it. Will that fit into my degree? He's like, yeah, sure, you could take it. I took it. Eastern Civ is a really hard subject for a lot of Western students because a lot of the history that you learn in school is as it pertains to you and what changes for you. So a lot of like American history or even world history courses in American schools start maybe in Mesopotamia if they go really far back.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
they move west.
Yep.
That's what they do. They start in the fertile valley of Mesopotamia with the beginning, the supposed, earliest notations of civilization, and then they move into Asia Minor, and then they move into Europe, and then they move into England, and then they move across the pond over into North America, and then we get to modern day. That's how the world, quote unquote, world history is structured in Western schools, or in American schools specifically. But in an Eastern Civ class, you start in Mesopotamia and you go east. Shocker. But all of that, like ancient Eastern history, like ancient India, ancient Chinese, ancient Mongolian, all that history, something that I had no base knowledge for at all. There was no framing for me. Like he could say like, oh, during this period, there was this going on. And I had to like, and even when you like, because you have to know what year that is and then draw a parallel to something that you know that happened in that time frame in Europe, just to give it a frame of reference for what your brain can handle. And for that, for having like no base knowledge about Eastern history, because I'm, live in Western society, it was a really, really hard course. It was one of my favorite courses that I've ever had. I passed with a C. It's still one of my favorite. Aaron, what the fuck did you just put in the chat?
Oh, he put something in the chat. Hang on. Oh.
That's a selfie of me without a shirt.
Are you
with 87 chins?
Since you're talking about it, does that mean that it goes in the podcast? As an image?
Sure.
Yes. Yes.
I was like looking through my phone for something, and that
Why?
popped up, and I was like, I gotta just drop this right here.
Anyways, okay, so back to what I was talking about. One of my favorite things about this class was this teacher was a massive nerd. And that's what a lot of our conversations, we talked about stuff like Star Wars, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings. We talked about this stuff in casual conversation. And a big part of this teacher's ethos was trying to draw parallels between historical account and something that the student has a base knowledge for. And he kept on drawing parallels to the popular book series Dune by Frank Herbert. If you haven't read it and you like sci-fi, you should check it out. But he kept on drawing parallels, and I was like, I've never read Dune. And he was like, dude, you should read Dune. It's such a good book. I downloaded the audiobook. I listened to it on his request because, you know, we liked a lot of the same things. Stop sending my selfies to the fucking we like a lot of the same things. So I was like, I know that we have very similar opinions when it comes to books. I should check it out. And I did. And then what was great is a lot of the geopolitical things that happen in the book Dune, I was able to then draw parallels to what was the geopolitical stuff that was happening in ancient Eastern society. So when he would bring up a certain character in Eastern history, like ancient Chinese history, I'd be like, oh, so that's like this character from Dune. He's like, yes, exactly. And he was so happy because I took his request, I read Dune, and because I read the book that he requested, I was able to draw parallels between what he was teaching and something that I had a base knowledge for. And so that was actually really cool. Then instead of him just saying, just study the material until you learn it, he gave me something that was on my level that I would enjoy, that gave me a better frame of reference for what he was teaching. He was a fucking brilliant teacher, and I'm so sad that he left the school.
Yeah, that's a shame, man. Yeah, I had a teacher that was similar like that during my high school. For history stuff, he would bring up like weird, quirky facts about certain cultures. For example, and I still remember this to this day, and it was sophomore year that I think I learned this. The sophomore year that I learned this. Yeah, you're looking at the image now.
I'm just now reading this.
Yeah.
I saw the face.
Yeah.
But all right, I'm not gonna put this one in.
Right.
I'm just gonna describe it. So it's me a while ago, because my hair is much, much longer. I have more facial hair.
Ethan,
Making a really creepy face.
that was probably in high school.
Yeah. No. I didn't have that hoodie in high school. This is probably like a year and a half ago.
Okay. It's one of the first photos on my phone. That's why I said it.
But it's me making a really creepy face, and below it, in a very like fancy font in red, it says, "This is how you make the sexy times happen."
Honestly, I thought that said lines, and that's why I thought you made it in that font, is for the lines.
No.
But
I read
now
it.
that
I
know
read
it's
it as lines
It
first.
definitely says times.
Now that I know that's times, that's pretty funny.
This is in fact how you make the sexy times happen.
Would you like for me to bombard the chat later on when we're not on podcast with the rest of my Ethan selfies I have? Because I have a lot.
Sure.
For some reason.
Okay, fine.
I think I have more pictures of Ethan on my phone than anybody else besides myself.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
So
Back to the history teacher sophomore year. And I'll let you guys know this fact because it's the weirdest thing ever, and that's why I still remember it, is that Mongolians, in order to teach their kids how to ride on a horse, they would have their kids ride on, what was it? It was like a goat when they were like infants. So they were like babies, and they would just put their babies on goats and then just have them run around. And that's how they taught them to like ride horses. So it's like
Weird.
it's pretty fucking metal, though.
Right? Yeah, to think like this dude who has this bow and is riding this horse and is about to kill you was an infant riding on a goat.
I mean, that's why they can ride on a horse and kill you with a bow at the same time.
Exactly.
Riding goats when they were babies.
Oh, it's such a...
When a 12-year-old Mongolian kid rides up with a recurve, shoots you in the throat, and Fortnite dances on your body.
It's got the goats in the freaking back. Like,
Yeah, exactly. It's just one of those things that I ended up keeping in my mind because he constantly brought those up. But it helped me learn. Yeah.
So speaking of history, I recently watched the first 3 episodes of Vinland Saga.
Okay.
Which is a new anime.
so I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's
It's
new.
a new anime.
It's new, that's why.
That just came out this season. It's only on Amazon Prime, which is kind of a bummer. Because Amazon Prime is where anime goes to die.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
It always sucks when it's like, this is a very promising show. but it came out on Amazon Prime, so it's probably not going to do that well. So even if it's really great for the first season, it's not going to do well because it's going to be stifled by the fucking medium that it's on, and then it's not going to get cleared for a second season. Ah! But I digress.
No, he's upset.
But Vinland Saga, it's like based on like 11th century Norse peoples. I'm not going to say Vikings because Vikings is a job title, not an ethnicity. But it's based on this kid who is living in Iceland and wants to go, and Leif Erikson shows up in the first episode. He's telling them stories about Vinland, which is North America. He's telling them stories about how he went there, and like they're all the village kids in this Icelandic village are like, "You're a crazy old man and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Leif Erikson, you're a fucking crazy person."
That's fair.
But then one of them is like, "Hell yeah, that sounds dope." And I haven't gotten all the way through like the setup because it moves pretty slowly. You can sort of tell by like where the story's going that it's probably going to end up with the kid's father dying.
Wow,
and then,
spoilers. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean it's they kind of set it up in the OP.
Yeah, I don't like when that happens. To when things get spoiled in the opening.
Because he's like a 6-year-old kid right now.
Yeah.
This place in the show, and there's only like 3 episodes. There might be 4 episodes out now. I've only seen the first 3. But he's still like a 6-year-old child. But in the OP, you see him as like maybe like a 14 or 15-year-old kid, and he's got his father's dagger, and he's got this very brooding, angry look on his face. So he definitely looks like I gotta avenge my father, gotta avenge my family.
Right.
Sort of got a Sasuke vibe going on.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's coming. It might not be. They've already revealed spoilers, but they've already like sort of set up that the father is in danger. So it's like, will they succeed in killing the father?
Yeah.
Will they not? It's a whole thing. But the historical accuracy is what I was looking at, because that's one of the things that a show doesn't have to be 100% historically accurate to be an entertaining show, especially if it's based in the past. It doesn't have to be 100% historically accurate to be entertaining. Assassin's Creed is a great example of that.
Right.
The shows are super popular and they're based in history, but wildly inaccurate in most of the shit. And some of it, they admit, is like creative license, because of course, like Assassins, Templars, Seeds of Eden, all that shit doesn't exist. But like as far as like the setting and the players and stuff like that, they take a lot of creative liberties with that shit. But I was looking at mainly design of the characters and social structure from what we know about Norse society, and it's okay. It's not the worst I've ever seen. The worst thing, it was doing really, really well in like depicting everyday Norse life in the 11th century until they introduced this standing army called the Jomsvikings, and they show up and they're very, very imposing looking. They show up on a Viking longboat, and they're all wearing very uniform armor. They've got this eyeball crest thing on their axes. They all have the same helmets and stuff. And it's not that the axes and the armor and the helmets don't look Viking, because they do. They look like stuff that has been found in Norse archaeology. Not very often. I think there's only like 1 or 2 examples of a Norse helmet that actually looks like what they do, or what they do in the show. So, but that's just because helmets were expensive and not a lot of people had them. It's much cheaper to just, a lot of people, you just have a sword and a shield and a dagger, maybe a bow, but actually having like a male coif or a male halberd and a helmet, that's super expensive. Fuck you.
Here all night.
But nah, the Jomsvikings show up and they all look uniform. They have the same armor, the same axe, the same helmet.
Oh yeah, that wouldn't happen.
and yeah. So the thing is, the Norse didn't have a standing army.
No.
They didn't have that. It was and they admit, like, at some point in the show, they're getting the main protagonists are like, they see some like trouble's about to happen, and one of the characters says, "These aren't some ragtag farmers turned Vikings to make ends meet." And I thought that was a weird admission to make, because that's what happened. Is you went on Viking raids to make money. That was, you raided and looted to get money and goods and people, so you could bring them to other places to sell. You would steal and then sell that shit. That's what Vikings were. But them having this group called the Vikings that are like a standing elite army, that's like, I like the notion, and it's kind of, and it's cool and it's entertaining, and I'm still gonna watch the show, and it's still probably gonna be pretty good. That's the only thing that I have a nitpick with. The way their clothes look, the way that their weapons look, are all pretty accurate so far. There's nothing really crazy looking, because a lot of anime, they like to, especially they like to oversize everything. They like to make everything absurdly big. Like, they'll have a warhammer that's the size of a wooden mall, but it's made out of pure steel. You're like, no human could lift that.
Yeah.
But so far as like the weapons and the armor goes, it's all accurate. And even the stuff that the Vikings wear, it's not inaccurate. Like the axes that they all have steel, or they have mail halberds. Not called chainmail, by the way. That's a fallacy. And so the stuff that they're wearing is like, yeah, okay, that's feasible for that time period and for this area, but they all wouldn't be looking the same. And the people admit, like, when they show up, they're like, oh, they look very imposing, they all look very uniform, and they move like a cohesive unit. Like the commander issues a command, and they all like move in sync, like a, well-trained army. Which, not to say that there weren't well-trained armies at that time, but they weren't Norse.
Yeah. But
so that's my only thing. They're actually, so as far as like, I told Derp about this one time, that looking for historical accuracy in shows, as far as like arms and armor and fighting and stuff and social structure has gone, one of the best that I found was an anime.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think, because when you think about like there's shows like Vikings and, God forbid, Game of Thrones.
The historically accurate Game of Thrones.
There's nothing historically.
Oh, yes.
Even like,
I know.
Yeah.
No, like,
is it based on anything? It's not, right?
No.
But just the era, like the era sense that it's supposed to have, isn't accurate.
I was like, what do you mean?
See,
yeah.
No, like I can take things from Lord of the Rings and say, yes, that's decently historically accurate for what they're going for and what it's based on. Like weapons, arms, armor, the way that certain things behave in Lord of the Rings, I can look at it and say that's feasible.
Except the fact that Frodo is wearing elven mail, that doesn't have holes in it apparently and can't break.
It's not elven.
It's not.
It's dwarven.
It is dwarven. You're right.
Mithril is dwarven.
Yeah. Shut up. I was close.
No.
Yes, I was. Shut up.
Dwarves and elves hate each other.
I had a race that was not hobbit or human or, hang on, I'll think of others, orc, or I'll keep going. Hang on, no, keep going. Joke's over.
Okay. Uruks.
Yeah. Urukai.
I tried to think of the proper name of the wizards, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah, the colored people.
Can't say that. We're recording.
I mean, well, no. There's 5 wizards, and they have specific colors. There's the gray, the white, the brown, and the two blue.
Yeah.
But can't say that. Can't say that.
You're not wrong.
No.
But it's not ethically right.
Yeah, no, because
talking about Lord of the Rings.
They're all white, yeah. So
It's not.
It's all whitewashed.
I love it.
But no, the most
Where's my
historically
whip? Hold
accurate
on,
show.
hold on.
Jesus,
Where is it?
says the white Protestant male.
Yeah.
The most historically accurate show that I've actually found
It is.
is an anime called Maria the Virgin Witch. If you haven't seen it, it's the dub is on Funimation, but then they uploaded the sub onto YouTube for free.
Why would anybody ever
on
watch
Funimation's.
subs? Crazy.
You're gonna get a bunch of hate, Aaron. You're gonna get a bunch of hate.
Come on, Carly.
I
What do you got? Come on. I ain't afraid of you. Fight me.
Oh, I'd like to everyone Kupo who thinks that I'm a dub only nerd. I'm planning on watching all of Vinland Saga, and since it's a new anime, hasn't been dubbed yet, watching it all subbed, and I still enjoy it, and I still like it.
You know what I've been enjoying lately? Stranger Things 3. Such a good show. It's in English. Wow.
Did you guys ever watch Martin Mystery?
No.
That sounds familiar.
It was a show, I forget if it was on Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon or what it was on.
Hold on. I'll Google and see. I might have.
Look up Martin Mystery. It was originally French. It was originally a French show.
Have y'all ever watched shows in your childhood and then like realized like you thought they like existed but weren't sure if it was a dream, and then you hear them later and you're like, wait, you saw that show too? I thought I dreamed.
That was
Reminds me of the
that was Martin Mystery for me.
reminds me of the Bearstein Bears theory.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
seen
see?
this. Yes. Isn't he Hawaiian?
Yeah, that was.
Maybe.
What?
Is he Hawaiian?
He wears a Hawaiian shirt, I think.
He had a crossover with Totally Spies.
Wait, what's it called again?
Martin Mystery.
Yeah, who's the little green dude right here? Who's this guy? I don't remember him. I like remember the face, but I don't remember what he did or what his name was. I don't
Oh
remember
yeah,
anything.
the buff dude's white. Yeah, it's made by the same people who did Totally Spies. I remember this.
That show was fire, by the way. People slept.
Yeah, wasn't it? So I might be misremembering this, but I think Martin Mystery was originally a French show.
I just thought he was in Hawaii. Like
don't
I thought
remember.
that was the
No,
setting.
no, they're in like some winter, like northern location.
Yeah, there's snow everywhere, and
Really?
he's always wearing a turtleneck.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, he's wearing like hoodies and turtlenecks everywhere.
dumb. I'm dumb.
The buff
I'm
the
dumb.
buff dude though is Hawaiian, I think.
Maybe that's
Yeah, he's like
probably
Tito
true.
from Rocket Power.
Yeah.
That's another show that I thought was fake.
Yeah. This, you know what this reminds me of now that I look at it?
Oh no, I knew Rocket Power.
The
was
cat
good all the
Reddit
time.
post.
Rocket Power.
Oh,
Rocket Power.
But this guy looks like what Johnny Test was supposed to look like.
oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Johnny Test, but not as the 13-year-old.
Correct.
Johnny Test.
Correct. But okay. So since we talked about anime for that moment that we did, I wanna bring up a topic as to what you guys think.
It was an Italian comic,
So it wasn't even. Okay.
and it was produced by a French television company
There you go.
based in Paris.
Yeah.
So it was an Italian comic that was produced by a French company, and then a Canadian production and animation company based in Montreal.
Gosh.
Got it. So it went from Italy to France to Canada to America.
Reminds me of Mario. In a lot of ways. Going from. Never mind. I'm not gonna bring up that giant spew of what Mario is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a lot.
Yeah. Okay. So since we brought up anime, I want to bring up, what do you guys think the difference is between mecha and Gundam? I want to hear this. I want to hear this. Do you guys have like so for
Mecha
one?
is
Yeah, okay.
mechanical.
Okay.
Gundam is with guns.
No. Okay. So
No.
Gundam in of itself, there's like a whole series of Gundam. It's like an anime thing for
Yeah.
Gundam, and then mecha is like like your giant robots that people get in.
Isn't
Yeah,
there
so I
like
thought- isn't-
Gundam Dynasty Warriors? That's a game, right?
Yes. I
Yeah.
believe that's.
I
a
played
thing.
it before.
See, when I think of Gundam, I think of actual like Gundam, like that title.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like Mobile
yeah,
Suit
I do too.
Gundam.
I didn't know that it was a style. I thought
It
it,
is-
was
it is
just
a style,
that
yeah.
exact thing.
Like just a series, like a name
Yeah.
brand of something. Yeah. No.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
It's
not
like when
exactly a
people
series
call-
because there's like 80 billion things that have that title attached to it.
Right.
But
I
Right.
thought it was kind of like Ziploc bags. Like they're not actually Ziploc bags. They're like plastic bags, but everybody calls them Ziploc bags. You know what I'm talking
Like
about?
Velcro and Frisbees.
That's such like a high moment of when it's like Ziploc bags
Kleenexes.
are actually just plastic bags that you can lock. It's
I mean, no, like, like everybody calls, like when you go to blow your nose, you're like, hey man, Kleenex. Every facial tissue is not a Kleenex. By the way, facial tissue.
Who are we?
Facial tissue. But like, for real, they're not all. Why do people call them that? I don't like it. I don't like just call
Because
them by
one
the name.
brand popularized it.
Yeah,
And then all the others are off-brand.
that's dumb.
yeah, they do.
That's like people calling all soda Coke
But- Yep.
or all cola Coke.
Yep.
Yeah, that's stupid too. But go on with your Gundam. That's a rant for another podcast.
Yeah, so Gundam or mecha, what's the difference? Is it's just like Gundam is just what you put on for like a collection, so to speak, that they just use for that style?
Let me
Or
actually have an actual answer to your question.
See, I don't think I've watched enough Gundam or mecha
okay,
to be able to
they're
give an educated
they're
answer.
the same.
I'm gonna give my
they're the same.
Wow. I
yeah.
asked to
That's
give
what I
an
was gonna
actual-
go
I'm gonna
for.
ruin it for you. It's kind of the same, but kind of not. It's like so Gundam. Imagine Gundam being a square and mecha being a rectangle. So Gundam can
So rectangle is a square, but square is not a rectangle.
right, exactly. That's the thing, is that Gundam can
So
be a mecha,
Gundam is a
Really-
mecha,
that's a
but
really good
mecha-
analogy.
mecha is not a Gundam.
correct. That's right.
What a
Yeah.
good analogy.
Yeah, that's exactly the situation that it's in, because Gundam
I got another good analogy that I got to bring up.
Gundam is
some point.
like a person inside of the suit controlling that robot, but then mecha is just some robotic drone type of thing that a person can get in and control. Like it's the same thing, except
Like an angel.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
yeah, mecha's
That
just
was
a
my guess, actually.
wider term. Yeah, it's a mecha's so Gundams are mechas, but they don't call them yeah, it's weird.
So
I had this conversation with a certain somebody two days ago.
So the center of Islamic faith, that's not a Gundam?
Right.
Okay.
All right, so
Talking about the city of Mecca,
Oh.
Aaron.
Yeah, City of Mecha.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay.
MECCA.
Thanks. Sorry, I was lost. So
As opposed to MECHA.
we're at like an hour and 23 minutes.
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
probably end it here.
Last one was like an hour and 40.
It was an hour 40, but we had like yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it was
way too long.
hour 43. What do you mean?
Aaron proving that he hasn't
Yeah,
listened.
he hasn't listened.
to
He
this.
doesn't know.
I
He
don't
doesn't know. Well, we totally didn't talk bad about you or anything, so I'm so glad that
Next
you
week,
didn't listen to it.
next week, we're talking
Yeah.
about fat people, man. I've been trying to talk about fat people for 2 weeks now. We're talking about fat people next week.
I mean,
Aaron gets reminded every single time he looks in the mirror.
Yeah, I'm really tired of it.
yeah.
I
Mhm.
low-key, I one time when I was late at night talking to someone, I admitted something and it was kind of sad and they laughed
Oh,
their ass off. Have you ever like admitted something super personal that's low-key kind of sad and somebody found it fucking
half the
hilarious?
stuff on this podcast, yes.
Is that this? I just went along with it and now it's like an ongoing joke with these people.
Can you
But
can
I
you
told
tell
them,
us
I was
what
like,
it was?
Yeah, I told them. Of course, they were high at the
Okay.
time, but so it's probably why they found it so fucking funny.
Okay.
But I told them, I was like, oh yeah, well, and I sort of said it in a very flippant manner, like I do. You know, you can never tell when I'm joking or when I'm serious,
Right.
so that's kind of my fault. And I was like, 'cause I think we were talking about body positivity or something like that. And I was like, oh no, every morning I look in the mirror and I go, damn, you're gonna go and walk out that front door, you fat fucking piece of shit. And they thought that was real funny.
I would have laughed at that too.
Uh-huh.
Because like I know
I mean,
you
yeah,
and
I
you're,
framed it in a funny
you're
way.
such a tiny boy. So like
Yeah, it's like not believable. Like
I would have thought you were joking based on your personality and the size of you.
Right.
That would have made me laugh, yes. Every time.
No, but
It's like when
At
Keith
the
called
time-
you
at the-
fat for the whole senior year. That
See-
is the funniest joke to me. Oh my goodness, I love that joke.
that was a joke. That was funny because at that point in time, I knew I wasn't fat.
Fat now though.
Yeah, exactly. Because I went to college and gained like 30 pounds, and this was like right after I gained all of that
Really
weight. I was
helped
like,
with this whole
Jesus
message.
Christ.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
a
you really
fat
helped
fucking
him.
piece of shit. And it's okay because I sort of like stopped. Like I went from 130 to 160 really quickly, and then I sort of plateaued.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped at like 160, which, you know, I'm okay with, but I was gaining weight so rapidly, I was like, holy shit. I'm going to be Aaron size before too long.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we
Yo,
need to,
190.
okay.
No,
We should-
no, we're talking about this now.
No,
talking
we're
about
not.
this topic.
No,
Yes,
we
are.
can save it. No, we can leave it on a cliffhanger and save it for next week so that more people watch next week to hear what goes on.
That's hot. The analogy that I said earlier to my brother that I wanted to bring up was asking your troubleshooter on your computer to troubleshoot a problem on your computer is like hiring a dog veterinarian to look at your dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's basically worthless.
Yeah,
Oh no.
sure.
Also, when I get my PC built, I want to start streaming. That's one thing I wanted to bring up.
Oh,
All right.
Yeah.
Are we gonna end so I can go get some food? I'm so hungry.
Yes, exactly. That's why I wanted
No.
to stop and leave it on that cliffhanger. What, Ethan?
I bet you want to go get food, you fatty.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is gonna be
I love you, Aaron.
great. Going into next week's me talking about fat people.
Yes, exactly. And you're having
Aaron,
to
I
go get
love
food
you.
right now. It's great.
And your body is beautiful.
Yeah.
I
There you
know
go.
it is. Thank you.
I'd
I
fuck
worked
you.
really hard on it. You do. Yes, you do.
Okay. We'll be back next week to finish up on that whole topic. All right.
All right.
What will happen to our heroes next week? Will they shame Aaron for being a fat fucking piece of shit? Or will they accept him for who he is, no matter how much he eats? Find out next week on Wight Noise Podcast.
Dude.
Goodbye, everybody.
And now back to the Zeppelin races.